Heavily armed Hamas terrorists infiltrated Israeli towns and cities, going door to door, massacring and kidnapping innocent Israelis. Dozens of Israeli civilians were killed and injured, and many others were taken hostage. Additionally, the terrorists launched a massive attack against Israel, indiscriminately firing rockets and missiles at Israeli citizens in the south and even reaching Tel Aviv and Jerusalem. Israel will take all necessary measures to protect its citizens from these barbaric attacks.
We are only a few meters away from what used to be the conflict zone. Possibly, and it's very likely lore that in this place where we are walking, vehicles passed by, or motorcycles passed by, or maybe people ran through here, doing something. That shout, which today is a terrifying scream for many, where they call out to their God. They call out to the God of that religion. And it's very terrifying for many Israelis to this day. Even just hearing that language shouted is quite frightening. I don't know if you can hear it.
I don't know. Honestly, you can hear it. We can hear it. Well, the plane is quite... I think the planes...
Yes.
You can hear them, right? But there are still planes because you can hear them too. The army is still there. Obviously, everyone is around here and over there too. So it's still tense. But, well, at least Israel is holding all the cards, so to speak, because there are situations where it seems that it turns around.
But Israel
It's still over there.
What do you think? Should we go up there? We have a sort of lookout up there which used to have a memorial as well, and this remains as a reminder. In Darta, it's called a monument, a reminder of a war that also happened in the past. Around the year 1917, approximately. New Dutch Australians, they come to fight against those who were there at that time. Ottomans? And they give the Jewish people the possibility to return and live in these lands again. Various monuments were constructed, including one here. We'll visit it as it provides a lookout point to observe the area. And we're going to try to show you what we're seeing from here right now. So shall we go, Laura? Please, let's go. This is what we were just talking about. About this viewpoint. It's like a shelter. I don't know if you can see it over there. When the siren goes off, that's where you have to run. What do you think?
I prefer that if something happens, we just get on the
car and take off. We need to see if this also offers any protection. This is very exposed.
Right? The place where we are is not
A shelter doesn't protect anything.
No, this is not a
Shelter, this
is a monument. The shelter is down there.
simply.
That's why I say, if anything starts to sound, let's run down and leave.
You can tell everything is abandoned. Nobody comes here. It's all dirty. Who knows how long it's been since anyone's been here, right?
How many months has it been since anyone came here exactly?
Usually this was a place for tourism, where people would come and tell you the history. Also,
Schools.
also,
To learn about that part of history, the children came because it's part of our history.
okay, we give a geographical explanation of where we are. In that direction. In that direction. Going north from Ashkelon, there are the cities of Ashdod, Tel Aviv, and northern Israel. In that area, The kibbutzim, those that were attacked, see, and much farther, if we keep going, keep going, keep going, keep going. The Dead Sea and Jordan on the other side. Now then.
That means that side is the east side. Now you're pointing to the north.
And here we go now to the Mediterranean Sea area. I don't know if you can see the sea, but what we can, maybe you can see the sea. Look at that blue line in the back. Let me see. Let's see if I can zoom in with the camera.
Yes, there it goes. Overall, it's really good. The visibility is good, so it's like there's no haze.
Now look at this. We didn't have this image before October 7th. What you're seeing there right now in front of the camera is destruction. Look, how did all those smells end up? That's Gaza. For those watching this video, that's the territory of Gaza. If you can see, look there. There's the line of the wire fence. That's what separates. It's like the border up to there. That street you see there. Only military vehicles can go through there. Before, we couldn't get too close either because this place where we are is very easy for snipers. So, if you came here to teach about this viewpoint, you needed a special permit and had to come with soldiers, security personnel. And now look at how it is.
And speaking of snipers?
Right now, is it not dangerous or is there not too much danger? What part is up to us? No, nowadays there's not much danger because we're in the northern area of Gaza. The northern area of Gaza was one of the first places where the Israeli army entered to be able to clear the area of terrorists. And they asked the citizens to all go to the southern part, which is known as Rafah. But look, Lore, how everything is deserted.
Honestly, it's incredible. The last time I came was several years ago. All of that used to be a city, a simple city, because even though their buildings are very simple or many are unfinished, you used to see a lot of buildings and now it's incredible. But well, from there they also came to attack us, right? I mean, we were calm and no, exactly.
From the
Side of the border, I mean, no, we weren't the ones who broke it.
nor that.
We planned this, I mean, no.
For everything that's down there, what was underneath from where we were just watching the images, they were tunnels. Inside that city, unfortunately, underneath, there were tunnels, 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 tunnels. And all those people who lived up there were not safe at all because all these people were underneath, crossing with their weapons, with their tanks. Of explosives, not war tanks. Tanks of explosives. You could hear a noise there. Explosives and everything else that came with it. Just think about it. That here, so close to us, these people, terrorism. I'm not talking about the citizens of Gaza because there are many citizens of Gaza, and in fact, there are good people. But many of the terrorists who lived there would wake up in the morning only thinking about evil and how to bring down and eliminate the Jewish people. Unfortunately, the ruins we are seeing today are something we should never, ever, ever have had to see. They could have been living in peace, according to the mentality of peace, humanly. But the Bible also tells us something. The Bible in the book of Zephaniah, chapter 2, tells us that Gaza, what exactly does it say?
Yes, wait, let me get the Bible so it's precise.
Well, and the Mediterranean Sea? At some point, possibly, all of this might be rebuilt, maybe have a new name, maybe, or not, or not. Can you hear me? The conflict is still ongoing, there are still terrorists inside, and there are still hostages inside.
Yes, what you were talking about regarding the tunnels is more than just a network.
It's like a spider web.
And that's the saddest part, because here, just a few meters away, there are people who are being held against their will and
violating the sovereignty of a country.
They arrived, seized them, and are now detaining them there. I mean, you have them there and they won't give them to you. You can't find them, you can't get them. And on top of everything, they keep you busy with a war and won't let you. We can't complete that task. In Zephaniah 2 verse 4 it says, because Gaza will be abandoned.
Well, here we have the Bible in front of us. It's showing us what it means to be abandoned. Nowadays, there aren't any people there. There aren't any citizens who can go out for a walk, have a coffee, or eat something at a restaurant. There just aren't any. The only ones walking around there all the time are the Israeli army. The tanks are going in there. Exactly. Any terrorist threat leads to others bringing or trying to bring order to the place. Many of the citizens of Gaza today are happy that Israel is in control. And that at some point, possibly, many of them are saying, we want to come under Israeli territory when all this is over. But obviously, all of that has to be carefully evaluated and everything else. But the truth is that the Bible tells us, and Gaza will be desolate, and here we are seeing it before our eyes, the Bible being fulfilled. We don't know what will happen in the future, if it will be rebuilt, if we will see children there again running around, walking, playing soccer, tennis courts, or anything else. We don't know, but the truth is that this is how we see it today. Alright, let's continue. We keep going. We're going to another place now. And we're going to show what happened. On October 7th itself, in one of the places where everything seemed joyful, and suddenly madness came.
The planes and the rocks of the Tel Aviv army have defeated hundreds of police soldiers through the rain, the air, and the sea.
They emerge and begin obstructing the vehicle.
Dr. Marino, can you?
Well, we just arrived at one of the places that also change as the days go by. Can you see up ahead, Lore? We're looking now. All these flags. Let's take a closer look at Israel and the images. But do you remember some of the young people who lost their lives in this place?
Exactly. Many of them, exactly. It doesn't mean that the bodies have been found there exactly. It simply means that each one has its place, its picture, their photo, or something that the parents, the relatives bring to keep remembering them.
To give us an idea, the space is big, the place is indeed big, but here we have a rough idea of how we look on the map. There, the red dot. Right? Up there it's clearer. That we are exactly 2 kilometers from the territory where the line is. What we were saying was the line of... What is it called? The border between the territory of Israel. Look where we were before. We were there. There's the line we were talking about. We said we were about 900 meters away, but actually we were much closer. Because if you tell me that from here, we're 2,000 meters away, look where we are from the line. We could say we were about 150 meters away, maybe less, really close. Here we see. Each one of these marks 50, 50, 100, 150, 200. Yeah, it could be 200, about 200 meters. Well, it's better to think that we were at 900. No, well, but what we were seeing was exactly this. All of this. Not anymore. It's desolate. This is the line. You could see all of this. The area is now completely desolate. And so this is where they end up breaking. We have the Key Woods. Over here's the Tiberi. Over here's the Kibbutz. This is Kibbutz Be'eri. So what do? They break through these areas we just mentioned. And that's one of the places
Where they came in, because there were many.
There were several entrances.
At the same time, they did the same work along the entire strip.
They break through in several places, but here's the area where it's closest. And the first place they go to, isn't it the first place? The first kibbutz they are going to conquer in the attack is this one called Be'eri. And from there is where they continue. The route today is Route 232, known as the Route of Death. They now, after we are going to go through this route, they start arriving here, and this was the place where that famous festival was held. Which, by the way, we're going to talk a little bit about this. And along this entire route, we have these things you see here, which are the shelters, as we said in
Spanish,
the places to take shelter, which are actually, they used to be bus terminals because they're set up that way, all along the route.
next to it, there's, look,
What they did too was somehow to cover it up. The holes. This is very hard to drill. It's very hard to drill where... There. There are indeed bullets that pierce the place. Maybe we'll see it from the inside. Now we see it like this, but it wasn't like this before.
exactly. Here we see the photo.
Here it was. That's how it was. Look, there are the bags.
Up there we have a more aerial view photo. Until at some point they realized that the door was open, so that's when they also finished the task they came to do.
The burned vehicles appear black. There were a few fires as they were set on fire. Why? Because many of the guys hid inside the vehicles.
Look at all these. The fire is out here now, but they're still...
Well, right now, look, there's the tree. Let's see. Here we have the tree. There. We're right here, right next to the D. Where was this? If we were here on October 7th. We were like, we came here to throw out the trash. This was just for coming to throw out the trash. Look, the trash stayed down there.
As a reminder, also part of... What was there that day?
That's what I was telling you. Do you see the bullet holes? Here you can see some images of how these work. Honestly, it's sad to see all this. Here are the messages that were recovered from the phones of some people, yes.
From all the phones, the parents provided the latest ones, the ones that have received messages recently. They collected all the latest conversations. As a reminder, each parent was able to recover all the conversations, the latest conversations they had with their children, as a memorial so that everyone can see how there are many very different reactions, many situations. Look.
I'm going to translate this for you. This was sent on October 7th at 7:20 in the morning. Here's someone who's saying Lil Lil. I'm not gonna read it in Hebrew, he says. Come over here. You can succeed in getting out of the area. Is he telling him at the moment that I am? The moment I succeed in getting out, I will reach the nearest place there is. He sends her a heart and asks again, how are you all doing? What's going on? Then he says, we're being detained.
Here?
There are terrorists. There are bullets. You can hear the sound of bullets. I don't have a signal. I'm inside the trash can and I'm covered. Me and Maya. Maya is the name of a girl. And then here it says my life. Is there any news? Nothing, she says. And then, apparently it's another girl who's writing to him because she says, I'm sending you strength, Izukim. Here. We can see the young woman there.
It should be noted that the boys, all the recordings that have been heard, everyone was astonished because they couldn't believe it. First, that so many terrorists could have entered, and second, that literally they only had one goal: to kill and take them hostage.
You know what? Something that comes to my mind now.
We always
Have seen images. Those not born in that era. I'm sorry for the comparison I'm about to make, but it's what comes to my mind right now. We've always seen images of the Holocaust or read Anne Frank's letters. I'm in here, I'm hiding, I hear the noises outside, I hear the footsteps and everything else. Notice how it's like history repeated itself in the modern era. How can that be? That in the time we're living in, where there's supposed to be so much freedom, so much expression, and love rules the world, and so much of whatever, so much improvement, there is still hatred towards a single people, the same people, that still has to keep on living, for justifying itself every day in order to keep living in peace in its own land. Even today, tell me, is there any way to justify this? To be here to protect you? People who were born here in your land, what wrong did they do other than being sinners? What harm did they do to the world? Lori, tell us how we got to this place. Let's go a little outside to get away from the noise.
This man, Amir,
Who was the one?
this is an older man who didn't have the... No, he was here participating in this, but he had an idea of making this. Of this? A place for trash, right? Eh? What do you call a memorial reminder? So what he was saying is that we can't accept that this metal box goes back to doing its job. somewhere else in another city collecting garbage. When people died inside it, people were killed. So he was asking for permits from the regional authorities, lawyers, governors, and so on, until he was granted permission to take this giant trash bin and make it what we see today, a memorial. When on one of the trips he made, he found that this mix was no longer here. It had already been taken away. The owner came to get her, obviously, to take her and put her to work, and he went around looking for who the owners were and so on. Because now he had in his hand the permit to be able to take her and start doing this art. I mean, what he wanted to do. The man, an artist, has done this before. So the idea was that this Megolada had to go back to its place exactly in the position it was in. To be able to collect all the information from each boy, from each girl, private information that was on the phones from the latest conversations, to know a bit about each person's story, to collect all of that. They cleaned it, of course. We saw that they put those remains of the trash on the floor and then brought it here. In order to, so that all of this remains becomes part of this memorial, to remember it forever, what happened and the kids who are inside, a part of history. So for a little while the improvement was going around and they couldn't find it. They didn't put it to work, but he was able to find it just before he came back with his, to put it somewhere else. Well, they cleaned it, of course, of all the bloodstains and everything. So here we have what this man, Amira, has achieved, but without any connection to anyone. I mean, out of love for what happened to the kids, to the family.
Just another citizen who decides to come in support of everything that's happening. I mean, there was life here. This pile of sheet metal and iron doesn't have to do its job again, but let's remember it and let future generations also be witnesses to what once happened here. We're going to keep walking around this place. They're working. We're getting covered in dust. Maybe we should move. But if you made it this far and you like this content, then don't miss the next video from this same channel. And now we're going to another place, and we're going to the site of the ambulance story. Then we're going to go to the wall, or the place where all the burned cars were left. The ones we saw there at the traffic lights where they are. And then we're gonna go to what is a shelter, a bus terminal, like we saw. And we're also gonna remember there one of the most critical moments for some of the young people, and some who even managed to get out alive from that place. So see you in the next video from here, from Israel. Shalom, shalom.
It can't be that you're seeing hundreds of young people, some dead, some wounded, and some running into the field while terrorists are shooting in every direction. Prioritize rescue efforts, find survivors, bring them to safety, and return to the site to locate more wounded and hidden survivors.
What's going on? What am I doing?
I love you, Masha.
Wait, I love you.